We can do that later.
Okay.
We're fashionable.
Hello. Hello, honeybee. Thanks for coming.
We're always right on cue.
Yeah, we are.
We're all so always on time. We've never been late.
No.
And we're always ready to start.
Yeah.
Just on our A game. We are professionals. More Pooh Talk is the most professional podcast, if you can call it that, because we're actually stronger than a podcast. Because podcasts are for people who are going through mental trouble, and all of us are completely mentally healthy.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. My therapist thinks so too.
Yeah,
things are going really well.
Mine stopped seeing me because of how absolutely healthy I am. Reasons there, but we just lost.
Wait,
we lost two viewers.
We just lost.
Two viewers are like, nope, fuck them.
People have no idea what this is. They're like, what the fuck is this? They're just talking about mental health. What the
I'm not going to be gaslit this time. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. That's what we do here.
We're all very healthy.
Right.
Was the thesis of this show. We're not going to talk about the projects. We're just going to air out all of our mental anguish, which is minimal because we don't have any.
Right. This is going to be like a 3-minute podcast. Just us telling you how.
It's just a round table of each of us individually saying, "No, I'm good. I'm
good."
And
absolutely no issue.
We took all of the lockdowns and quarantines last year just fine.
Yeah, we took it in stride. I haven't left my house in about 9 months, and that's perfectly fine. It's like a pregnancy. I'm gestating.
Right. I've actually been. Well, the house is gestating. You are the.
Yeah, no, the house is gestating me. I'm ready to be rebirthed into this new world.
Right. I've actually taken up yoga and gardening inside my house because I can't step foot outside.
Pergeron's room is just all mulch. The entire floor.
Yeah, but that seems really on brand.
You're right.
That is on brand.
I'm redoing my room right now, so it's very possible that I will have a mulch corner.
Just a pile.
Yeah. I'm getting poison dart frogs, so I might want to just leave the entire room.
Yeah.
Peregrine's remodeled his home, so now it's a human enclosure instead of just.
He's bringing back the rainforest. He's bringing back the rainforest one house at a time.
Right. Yesterday was Earth Day, and to me, every day is make your house feel like the Jungle Day. I'm gonna just start releasing tropical birds. I'll just have macaws flying around. It'll be great. My landlord will love it.
It's gonna be macaws and poison dart frogs.
Yep. Not in tanks. They're just gonna free roam.
Yeah, exactly. If they get you, they get you. That's just the circle of life.
Yep. Yeah, we are here to talk about Disney things sometimes.
Yeah. So we do have a project.
Yeah, we do. And there's a lot of it to get through.
It's not that bad. Yeah, it's not as bad as last time.
Not as bad as the other time that it was bad.
This is like a breeze of a stanza we're discussing this time compared to our previous show.
Yeah.
Because this time
this will probably be like an hour.
That's optimistic.
And not 2.
You know us.
Yeah,
that is.
Rein your optimism back a little bit. That's what creates mental health issues.
Yeah, it does. Optimistic. It sets up expectations that's just going to lead to disappointment, which leads to depression.
And we're never disappointed because we set our expectations so low.
Exactly. That's why I'm like negative depressed. I have like a gross negative for depression.
Right.
I'm so unoptimistic. I'm so pessimistic that I can't build myself up.
Scientists have actually been testing on me to determine how undepressed I am. I mean, I've never actually worked at the zoo. I've just been in a lab this whole time, and they've been feeding me false memories.
I mean, that's technically a depressing zoo.
Right.
Yeah.
But not to me.
You can see animals in cages there. They're just hurt.
Right. Yeah, my neighbors are mice. It's great. They invite me over for parcheesi.
Anyway, Honeybee's been patiently waiting for us to talk about these projects.
Yeah.
I've just been
Oh,
stalling.
we got 3 more back. We got 3 more back. It's all
They
good.
came back. They felt bad.
They heard we were discussing Disney finally, and they were like, "Oh, nice."
And then we just went right back to depression.
Yeah. Well, I mean, really, the world is just a big animal kingdom. So
It is. You're right.
Oh, that was a bad one.
they're all bad ones, but not. To
I think
us.
every
They're all good ones.
person can be categorically separated into a different Disney park based on their personality.
Yeah.
I think all 4 of us could easily be different Disney parks.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair.
But none of us could be Dark Kingdom because none of us go through darkness.
You're right. Yeah.
I mean,
No, none of it. We just discussed this. None of us go through dark.
All right, and we got one more. So who's gonna pull up? We're so planned ahead. Who's gonna pull up the projects?
I already have them pulled up.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Nice.
So we are actually planned ahead. I just didn't tell anyone because I am taking the role of Tiki.
That's the spirit.
Right, and not telling anybody anything is Tiki's endgame.
Yeah. Where's your top 10 list? Top 10 reasons I'm not depressed. Number
Top 10
10.
reasons I'm not depressed. I don't think I have 10 reasons.
Oh no.
No, you
That's
only
how
need
undepressed he is.
But so yeah, this was a pretty fun stanza that we're discussing. This was
Fantasy Land is just an inherently fun stanza.
Yeah, I'm not usually a fan of
Land is just
Fantasyland.
fun.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
It's
not
fun to
usually.
make because it's. I mean, like, you have what you have,
Yeah,
but like you can really do a lot with it.
Yeah.
which can be a bit of a double-edged sword with Fantasyland because the idea of playing with all these different like Disney IPs makes for a fun opportunity, but then you run into the hurdles of, okay, which IPs do I want to choose to showcase? And also, do I actually want to try to like make a more cohesive theme or style for Fantasyland?
Yeah.
Like,
do we need 6 sublands, or how?
Or 7.
Can we do Frozen and Christmas together?
yeah.
Or should they be separate?
Yeah.
Should they be?
Or should you do Frozen too?
Should
No,
Fantasyland be the size of the entire Magic Kingdom? You got a lot of questions to answer.
No, that's something we talked a lot about during this project. This is our project, by the way. Team Garfield. Garfield? Were we Garfield?
And
Yeah,
we
we were Garfield. They changed so much, I was confused.
I refuse to believe that Garfield's named after Andrew Garfield, because it's not. It's named after the fat orange cat who loves lasagna and hates Mondays.
You're right.
No,
I agree.
he was named after the U.S.
Animal, take a shot.
What?
Yeah, take a shot, honeybee. I just said an animal.
Take a shot.
Garfield's an animal. He's my spirit animal, in fact. That's how undepressed I am. Because Garfield doesn't care about anything. He can't be depressed because he doesn't care.
Anyway. We talked a lot about how to go about this. Like, one of my main things early on was to focus on lesser known IPs, which I think we showed in a lot of this between like Hunchback and Silly Symphonies and especially Babes in Toyland. And then I kind of branched out in 101 Dalmatians. Then I kind of branched out into some more well-known IPs too. So I think we had a pretty good mix of IPs.
It's a really good mix.
Yeah. Personally, I would have liked a few more obscure IPs instead of like Little Mermaid and stuff, but I think they're all done very well.
It's still overall a pretty good selection that we wound up having, especially with the particular ones that we have showcased in some of these different sublands.
Gonna hold you to that.
Yeah.
Clarification.
And the first of these sublands that we have is the castle courtyard,
which is the smallest land. And I do agree with one of the judges said it. It might have been all of them too. They said that we should have consolidated this in the cathedral square, which I totally agree with. And it's just something that didn't end up happening. But shit happens. I think it's still it's a really good opening area. Which was the initial idea behind it, to have exactly, the original idea behind it was to have the castle courtyard, which was just shops and restaurants, which then opens up into the rest of Fantasyland, with Cathedral Square kind of acting as the transition point between the castle and the rest of Fantasyland. But
just the idea of you have your castle and then you have Notre Dame on the other side of it.
Yeah.
That's such a cool mental image.
No, I was really happy with how Cathedral Square came out. There are a few things I would have done differently, but I think this was my little corner of the project. Plus, Walrus and the Carpenter won the flat rights.
And your work with Cathedral Square was really good.
Thank you. No, I had a lot of fun doing it. And I had Hunchback stuck in my head for a solid week and a half.
Whole movie, you just closed your eyes and you were watching the movie?
Yeah, by the end of the week, I was able to fully recite the script. And I'd only seen the movie once, so it was very odd.
It's a great movie.
It's a great movie.
Topsy-Turvy is super catchy, and Hellfire is one of the best Disney villain songs.
Yeah, honestly, all the songs are really catchy. I still think my favorite is The Bells of Notre Dame. It's just a perfect opening.
You cannot say that all the songs are catchy when a guy like you exists.
Oh, I forgot about a guy like you. But we get to hear Jason Alexander sing.
Right, what we've all been dying for our whole life.
Yeah, it's the musical Seinfeld episode we never got.
Yep, and we've got our big E ticket, for this area with The Legend of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I think
I'm Joker's baby, isn't it?
Yeah. I think I'm very lucky that the ride came out as well as it did, because I only really had a solid line for the queue. I had a lot of fun doing it. I'm actually really proud of it. I think it all came out really well.
Yeah. You should be.
Yeah. A lot of fun.
It's a very cool ride.
Yeah.
Oh, but it doesn't include the song "A Guy Like You," so is it really cool?
It should have. You're right. That should have been the whole ride. You go up the elevator.
It's the whole ride. It should have just been that scene on a screen, and then you board a ride vehicle. Then a screen just comes on. Yeah. You don't even move, and then you get out of the ride vehicle.
It plays the entire sequence verbatim.
Right. And you do have to watch it while you're in the queue, too. So you just, by the time you're done, you've just watched it 10 times. I think that would be a better ride. But, this was good, too.
Yeah, thank you. No, I was really proud of the Hellfire scene. I think that was the best scene of the ride.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I think I really enjoyed it. I think it came out really well.
Oh, yeah. And the inspired idea of doing a drop tower dark ride for this.
Yeah, I'm glad that you guys went for it, because it was kind of out there. Yeah. Yeah, Jason Alexander's an animal.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think that warrants a shot.
Yeah, I agree.
He's a human.
Yeah.
And humans are animals.
Right.
You are a human animal.
Yep. Yeah.
But
I had a lot of issues when I was developing this, trying to find a proper balance, because there's so many characters and the movie's so story heavy. So I had to cut Phoebus, and I was very glad that no one called me out for that.
Yeah, but he's like the worst part of the movie anyway.
Yeah, no, you're right.
He kind of is.
Yeah, when trying to translate like an IP to an attraction, especially like when you're trying to capture more of a story in it, there's only so many like major named characters you can really include that guests can keep track of. And
Exactly.
frankly, I don't blame you for trimming Phoebus from it.
I think he has like a cameo in one scene, and that's like the only place where you see him. But I tried focusing more on like the story from the perspective of both Quasimodo and Frollo, and I think that worked out pretty well.
Yeah, the Heaven's Light and Hellfire. Like that was just a cool idea.
Yeah, no, I'm really glad that you like that. Yeah, and there's the one shot from the sequel, in case you couldn't tell by the bad art.
Oh yeah,
that looks like something.
It looks like a coloring
book. Look at these two pictures. Look at these two pictures.
That was the best picture I could find of the Quasimodo toy.
When I was in high school, I had to like give tours of the art show through the National Honor Society, and that looks like something you would see in the advanced AP art class.
It literally looks like a digitally colored coloring book. It's really weird.
There's like no shading or anything.
I know.
It's just solid color.
I have to watch the sequel. I've heard mixed things, and it sounds really weird.
Yeah, no, I see that picture. I see that picture, and I think of the meme of like, I want Hunchback of Notre Dame. We already have Hunchback of Notre Dame at home. Hunchback of Notre Dame at home.
I love it. And he's got his own little wooden girlfriend.
Yeah.
Who tries to rob him blind and then finds love.
Because that's what Quasimodo really needed to complete his arc.
Yeah, he hypnotized her with his hunchback.
A girlfriend.
He turned around and just started like wiggling it, and then it hypnotized her.
The hunchback made
because
it.
You know what?
Really
because compulsory heterosexuality.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Honestly, Quasimodo lived in a time where he probably didn't think he could be a homosexual. So he forced himself to love, when really his true love was the gargoyles.
See, he couldn't though, because his species of hunchback requires they're like an endangered species, and that's why the wiggling hump, that's their mating dance. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of hunchbacks out there anymore. So that's why it almost didn't work, in the sequel. That's what it's all about. It's about a Quasimodo breeding program.
It's really just the inspiration for Rio. It's all.
Yeah, I mean, Frollo wasn't evil. He was just trying to keep an endangered species somewhere until he could find it a breeding partner.
He was a conservationist.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to see that rewrite. Come on, guys.
And yeah, we've also got Carousel of Fools here.
Yeah, this is another one that I'm glad that we went for, because we had a few options for the carousel when we were talking about it. But I think this was the strongest theme that we were talking about. Art aside, but I think that it came out really well.
What? Wait.
Art aside, who did the art?
Me. That's why it's bad. Then we have the Court of Miracles, which is a small restaurant. I think it was necessary. This is the counter service for the land.
We got French food, and French food's good.
Yeah, I was trying to not overlap with Dash's menu, so I was just kind of throwing stuff out. I'm pretty sure I mostly copied it from Be Our Guest's old counter service menu.
Who doesn't? I mean, like, Croque Monsieur. Who doesn't love one?
People who prefer croque madames.
Vegans.
Yeah, vegans. That's very true.
Well, fuck the vegans.
People who are lactose intolerant.
Yeah,
those are just people who can't appreciate a fancy grilled cheese.
Yeah, both kosher and halal people don't like croque monsieurs.
People who are afraid of bread.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, people are afraid of cheese and ham. Really.
Who's afraid of bread?
There's a lot of people in this world.
Paul Bunyan, for one.
I'm sorry?
Called
Paul
artophobia.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's a bunch of artophobics out there who don't like bread.
Yeah. So watch what you're saying, Alex. You might really upset some bread haters out there. You might really scare. We don't know that Beowulf's not afraid of bread. We've never talked to Beowulf about bread. You might have just scared him shitless.
Oh, Sharon and Susan, that's a really good idea. Like carousel built by Maurice. That's a really interesting idea.
Ooh,
Yeah.
That's actually a solid idea.
Yeah, actually, now that you say that, even a carousel made by Geppetto would be really cool for like a Pinocchio area. So
Yeah.
I could do. Yeah. So a lot of options. And then we have Cinderella's Magical Journey, which is a fun little sea ticket.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is probably the most traditional dark ride, next to Dash's.
That's all right. I think a traditional dark ride has its place.
Oh, absolutely. No, I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
Oh yeah, and
I would go further and say a traditional dark ride is required.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh yeah, yeah. And honestly, Cinderella is a really good choice for like a traditional Fantasyland dark ride.
We were trying to pick something French because Cathedral Square and the Castle Courtyard is kind of French themed. So we were between this and Beauty and the Beast, and I think we talked about Sleeping Beauty as well for like a hot minute.
But yeah, Sleeping Beauty, but then with the mention of Cinderella, like the other members of the team were like, yes, no, how is there not a Cinderella ride yet?
Yeah.
How is there not a Sleeping Beauty ride yet?
There's the walkthrough.
That's not a ride.
That's a self-propelling ride.
Well, yeah, no, it's kind of surprising that neither of them has had a ride yet, and this is a really good take on a Cinderella dark ride.
Sharon and Susan Dash did neither.
Oh.
We'll get to my work soon enough, and I will mention it.
Yeah, we'll talk about who did what. This was Mickey Waffle Co. I did all the Hunchback stuff. But yeah, getting back to, I think I would like in a different Fantasyland, I'd prefer to see Sleeping Beauty over Cinderella. But I'm really glad that we chose Cinderella, and I think it worked out really well.
Yeah,
and I just say that because Sleeping Beauty is more
ride.
visually striking. But yeah, it's a really great ride. Yeah, this is one of those like Twilight Hour projects. We're getting down to the wire. We needed something else. But
I watched Cinderella for the first time like 2 months ago.
It's okay.
It's better than I thought it would be, to be completely honest. Like there's a reason I had never watched it in full. I had like seen parts of it.
Yeah.
But it was better than I thought it would be. But it's still not
surprisingly funny.
Yeah, there were some really
that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, and
honestly, I think all the 50s Disney movies are like surprisingly funny, except for Sleeping Beauty.
Oh yeah, and I can also appreciate like some of the little tweaks that they did to the story in the old 50s film. Like, what's the justification for going with whatever woman happens to fit the slipper? Basically, the king just really wants to see grandchildren.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty noble deed when you're an endangered species like a king.
Yeah.
There's so many of them, and a breeding program for kings is also really important.
Yeah. We should try a Hunchback King breeding program.
That would be that would be hybridization though.
A Hunch King.
Well, I mean, like,
but sometimes hybridization is okay and necessary.
No, sometimes, but it also can ruin the genetics.
Together, like, we get some cousins together, we see what happens.
Yeah.
Well, that's what got us into the place of not enough kings anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of hybrids, we've got Belle's Royal Guest Hall, which happens to bring together a mix of restaurant and meet and greet.
And this is Dash.
One of the things that I had worked on.
Yeah.
See, I threw that ball purposely, and Dash just hit it out of the park. That was planned.
Yeah.
That transition was absolutely planned. Good job executing that one, Dash.
You see, the reason we're late most of the time is because we sit here and write our transitions out, and we practice
Right,
them before we go.
This is all scripted. All of our tangents are planned precisely.
Yeah. When I pause when I'm speaking, that's because I'm trying to read the script so I can continue more naturally.
Right, we write it in crayon, and then we text blurry pictures to each other.
Yeah, we do.
To keep us on our A game.
But so yeah, this was something where somebody threw out the idea of like kind of bring together a castle restaurant with a princess meet and greet.
I think it was T-Cool.
Yeah, it might have been T-Cool that mentioned that, and when nobody else was really taking it up, I chose to take up the banner on this one.
Yeah, it was one of those ones that you always end up with where there's like an aspect or two that no one takes.
And so, yeah, basically I ran with the idea of, with the fact that the castle for Disneyland Brazil, it being Belle's castle, I ran with the idea of this being that Belle is opening up the castle for an event that has invited princesses from other lands, i.e. other Disney movies. And so, yeah, like for instance, I had the idea of that, yeah, you do have like the main dining area that's, you know, kind of reminiscent of the ballroom, but then hanging from the ceiling would be like 9 different heraldic banners that reference.
I really like this idea because I can see it just being.
I really tried to make you banners, but I couldn't make it work in time. But I tried.
No worries. At the very least, like the existing banner design from Tangled worked well to get in there.
Yeah.
I tried to do the descriptions of the banners in a way that they did reference different elements of the respective films and characters.
No, they were described really well. Like, also, 2 things. Beowulf, everyone in the chat except for you is paid, and they have scripts. Honeybee, you were a little late on your cue, and that's okay. It's fine.
Get better next time.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll keep you on. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
We won't dock your pay this time.
It's all good. It's all good.
And I mean,
this looks delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's French cuisine. It is
we need
awesome.
More soufflés. Yeah. We need more soufflés.
Of course, you got the great stuff.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, very much went all in on the French cuisine element for the menu.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's very Be Our Guest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I definitely consulted the menus for Be Our Guest and Cinderella's Royal Table when designing this, along with a bit of my own research on French cooking.
As long as the quality of food is better than those 2 restaurants.
Yeah.
But I imagine in our fantasy world that absolutely it will be.
Yeah.
In the SAU, they got cooking down.
Yep, and then we've got the Princess Greeting Hall, which is the meet and greet area for the restaurant. And yeah, most of the time, the main roster of princesses for it will be Belle, Snow White, Cinderella, and Aurora. But then I came up with the idea of bringing in different princesses for different times of the year.
Which is a great idea.
Yeah.
And it definitely adds, like, it gets people coming back too, which is great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so, yeah, that's sort of the general ideas that I had with that. And now we're on to another of my contributions for Castle Courtyard with Maurice's workshop.
Beowulf, maybe you're just that predictable.
Yeah, we just know. You're going to say something furry joke, and then
yeah.
Oh, no. That's technically an animal. Honeybee, take a drink.
Yeah, take a drink.
Maurice's workshop we have. This is a shop. It's good. Great job.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean,
Definitely rent out the land.
pretty basic setup to go with, and throwing in some mentions of like standard Disney merch along with stuff that kind of fits the Marines theme, like music boxes.
One thing I should have given you and I forgot because I was at work or something. I was Hunchback merch because I posted a while ago how I wanted to have the Court of Miracles map necklace as merch, and that kind of and I forgot to bring it up again, but it's okay.
Yeah, no worries. That would have been some good merch to mention.
Yeah.
Yep. But now we move on to our next subland, Storybook Gardens.
Yeah. This
was really
my
cool.
favorite.
Good. I think it's a great idea. I think it was executed really well too.
Oh yeah, if I recall, it really sprung out from I think you or T Cool had the initial mention of the Silly Symphony Gardens.
It was me because I wanted to. Well, I was talking to Pergran about this last week. How I wanted to be like those storybook parks in the Northeast, but with Silly Symphony stuff.
No, yeah, and then it was mentioned, and then I had mentioned the idea of a Babes in Toyland dark ride, and I think the light bulb kind of went off that Babes in Toyland and Silly Symphony are two IPs that actually pair together pretty well.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, here we have Adventures in Toyland, which I worked on. And yeah, I very much shot for old school Fantasyland dark ride for it.
Yeah, I think you nailed it.
I was so glad to see you actually get to do this, because I know we had discussed this when we were doing winter, but I had never seen Babes in Toyland at that point, and still haven't. I don't know why I said at that point. But I couldn't incorporate it into the Christmas land, so I'm glad you got to actually do this, because it was very interesting to see.
I mean, honestly, this has kind of gnawed away at the back of my head for a while, because I kind of torpedoed the initial Babes in Toyland back on 1986 in favor of doing Frozen stuff. So this is my chance to finally make up for that. And,
for the error of your ways.
And yeah, let me just say, I rewatched Babes in Toyland to work on this, and man, that movie is kind of a meandering mess.
Is it?
Yeah, it feels like a test run of Disney trying to do a live-action musical with some of the feel of their animated movies, but it didn't really work. And it wouldn't work until they went to bat again with Mary Poppins. So basically, instead of doing just a pure book report style ride, I would say more I sort of took moments that stuck out to me and some of the basic plot stuff, reshuffled events, chose to play some beats differently. I would say more a remixed and revised book report for this.
It all worked out really well. I used to watch the animated one from the late 90s, but I've never seen the Disney one. No. But I think this came out really well.
Well, thank you. And
I don't know. The villain looks a lot like Dick Dastardly from Wacky Races, and I just that's all I could.
That's the point.
That's all I could think about the whole time.
It's like an old vaudeville villain.
Oh yeah, Barnaby in Disney's Babes in Toyland is very much in the vein of the old melodrama mustache twirling sort of villain. Also, happened to be played by Ray Bolger in that film. Most folks would probably know as the Scarecrow from Wizard of Oz.
See, the Scarecrow or the Tin Man?
Scarecrow.
I thought he was.
There's a new segment, movie facts with Dash.
We did it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Tune in next time.
But so, yeah, Adventures in Thailand was a lot of fun to work on, and happy I finally got this idea out of my head.
Sharon and Susan, don't lead me on. I'm a big old Dick Dastardly stan.
Yeah, no, Dick Dastardly is awesome. Even in that Scoob movie, he was like one of the few good things about it.
Honestly, that was like the main reason why I wanted to watch Scoob, and I still haven't seen it. But as soon as I heard that they were doing Dick Dastardly, I got really excited.
Wait,
Yeah,
you
like-
watched Scoob?
I have not seen Scoob.
I have so much respect for you, Dash, because I could never bring myself to do it.
It's not necessarily a terrible movie. It's just
Misguided.
kind of meh, and it's more a Blue Falcon and Dynamite movie that also has Dick Dastardly as the main villain.
Which honestly is perfectly okay. I just don't understand why Simon Cowell's in it.
Wait, what? Now I gotta watch it. Damn
Yeah.
Yeah, Simon Cowell is in it.
It's like they
Damn,
saw
yeah.
Shrek 2 and they're like, wow, this is a great modern movie that we should take inspiration from.
But yeah, and Jason Isaacs was a lot of fun as Dick Dastardly, and they managed to give him just a little bit of depth while still ultimately keeping him classic villain.
Was Muttley's design the same?
Muttley was basically the same, yeah.
Good. I was worried that they would make him like a dog. I don't want that. Not my Dick Dastardly. Anyway.
Not my Dick Dastardly.
It's my new Tumblr, my new Twitter hashtag. Make a trend. Anyway, we got the Silly Symphonies Labyrinth. This was cool. This was done really well as well.
Yeah.
The only missed opportunity was that there was no goddamn skeleton dance.
Yeah, what the hell?
It's so easy.
The one reason I could see why you might not have skeleton dance is just because with the whole Storybook Gardens theme, most of the stories here that are showed off are more like Aesop's fables and like real simple like fairy tale, like nursery rhyme stuff. With
What's more nursery rhyme? What's more nursery rhyme than skeletons? Skeletons are in every single nursery rhyme. We all have.
That is true.
I get that, but I think you could still do the skeleton dance very easily as like a little throwaway kind of like back corner of the labyrinth. Like have like a crypt or something in the back and you look in and it has like the skeleton dance and the like a nighttime scene through it. There's a way to make it happen.
Oh yeah, that's just my best
I
guess.
would have said like I would have said do something like the Queen of Hearts jump scare in Alice's Curious Labyrinth.
Oh, I wouldn't have done that. I think that's too much. But that's a good idea.
Maybe the skeleton dancers were the friends we made along the way.
Yeah, the true skeleton dance.
And we all have skeletons. So as we're walking through, well, most of us, we don't know about Tiki, but most of us have skeletons. So maybe if we start dancing when we're in the labyrinth, that's the skeleton dance. And then they just have to kick us out because we won't move. And
Technically, every dance you go to is a skeleton dance.
That's true.
Yeah.
But overall, this was a neat approach to go with in terms of like a walkthrough / diorama setup of Silly Symphonies.
Yeah. And I quite enjoyed it. And now we have the Arboreal Boogie, which is also really, really cool. And I'm glad that this was something that got in.
Yeah.
Too. Because this was another one of those rides Sorry?
It's just something special, this ride.
Yeah. No, I'm really glad that it worked out. This is T-Cool wrote it, but the idea was mine. And I'm really glad it worked out so well. T-Cool did a really good job with it.
See, this land is like what the gardens in Seasons of Fantasy was supposed to be, and then we went the Fantasia route instead.
Honestly, I think the Fantasia route was a great route to go.
Oh yeah, but we were gonna do Silly Symphony, so it's nice to see this actually like come to life. This is similar to what we were what we were going for before the Fantasia idea came to be.
Mm.
Oh yeah, just really nice work overall. And then we've got the Cookie Carnival Cottage,
which is great. And honestly, the facade reminds me of something from like a storybook park. And that's kind of the vibe I want to go for.
Yeah, this is very New Hampshire Storyland.
Actually, I'm pretty sure I think that because Great Escape has literally that facade as a subway.
Uh-huh.
Imagine walking into that and instead of a sweet shop, it's a Subway.
Yeah, it used to be a candy store, and then it got bought by Six Flags, so it was a Subway for a really long time. I think now it's a Coke Freestyle, but I haven't been there in a very long time.
I think it should go back to being a Subway.
Yeah, I agree. It was a Subway like from when I was like very young, like most of my life.
Every building should be a Subway.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep, and
equally, you just came back for us to talk about how every building should be a Subway. We really like the Cookie Cottage, but we think it should be a Subway.
Mm-hmm.
So fix it, I guess. You know?
Yeah, so go back and rewrite it.
Side note. Finished up the Drag Race finale. Let's go, Simone.
Yeah.
And so, on to the retail now, which I worked on both of these stores.
Mm.
And so, first we got Merlin's Magical Books.
See, now this is just me, but like, if this Fantasyland were to have a bookshop, why would it not be Belle's bookshop?
It was originally gonna be, and then it kind of shifted. But I think Merlin's is a really unique choice, and I think it worked out well.
It's a cool idea, and I love it. But like, Belle's bookshop just makes so much sense.
Yeah. Well, I think it was a good way to incorporate Sword in the Stone, because that was something we wanted to do pretty early on. I was trying to make a Sword in the Stone ride happen, but I think this was a good concession, a good middle ground.
Sharon and Susan, just wait until you see our reaction video that'll be uploading soon. It's our first edited content that doesn't include Dash, and watch how chaotic get when we're not
halfway through the fireworks show. We just start talking about bullshit. Neither Pergrod or I have the attention span or interest to watch an entire fireworks show.
No. Yeah, we were just like, oh yeah, this is good, but what about whatever we talked about? It wasn't even relevant enough for me to remember.
There's some lines in there that
I'm so excited to see it. Coming soon, eventually.
I've been busy. I'm working on editing it.
Good.
But then in addition to that, we've got Toy Makers Tinkers, which is specifically a toy store.
And this is a great idea. Yeah. It's does Babes in Toyland exit directly out into this?
I wasn't thinking that it would. I was thinking it would have been more akin to something like Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh at Magic Kingdom, where you exit out and there's a store nearby, but you don't exit directly into the gift shop.
Yeah, you do.
I don't recall exiting directly into the gift shop. More like adjacent to the gift shop, from what I
thought it brings you into the corner of the gift shop. It's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. But I get what you're saying.
In any case, it is nearby. Yeah. It is basically connected.
Yeah.
But a toy shop themed around the toy maker is just very natural choice to go with.
Yeah, absolutely.
But just like Santa Claus, the toy maker's not actually making the toys; he's just taking credit for it.
Actually, no. That is actually true in the film.
Oh, I just spoiled it for myself. Damn it.
But then we've also got a Winnie the Pooh meet and greet in Storybook Gardens.
Yeah,
that's cute.
Yeah, I think it worked out
meet
well.
And greet?
I do.
Remember when that was
I
allowed?
do.
Yeah.
I prefer cavalcades.
I
They have Pooh,
prefer
now they have Pooh in an airless plexiglass chamber.
where he belongs to containment.
It's contained. Just in a metal box.
Gotta keep ourselves safe. He's been free reigning since like the 70s. Too powerful.
Yeah.
He has a whole podcast named after him now and everything.
He does.
Yeah.
Whoa! Sorry,
And we never talked about him.
I'm normally one to try to keep us on track, but
Uh-oh.
apparently T-Cole had a cousin that worked on Scoob.
Tell him to work on better movies. Oh, okay, that's cool.
Make a whole Dick Dastardly movie without forcing Scooby-Doo into it.
Yeah, tell him to make a Dastardly and Muttley and their flying machines, an animated feature.
Oh, yeah, well, apparently Scoob was originally going to have, like, wacky races stuff in it.
It was supposed to lead up to Wacky Races. I don't know if they're still doing that. I kind of hope they do.
I want to see the Wacky Races cinematic universe.
Yeah, well, it was supposed to be a Hanna-Barbera cinematic universe, and I'm way, way, way into that. And I hope it still works out, but it probably won't.
I'll go in there and beat up every Hollywood exec to make sure it does.
That's the spirit, you tell them.
I'm going to bring my poison dart frogs with me.
But so yeah, now we move on to the final subland for our fantasy land, Fantasy Harbor.
The part that didn't need to be there.
Yep, this one was a little bit of a mess, and that's okay, because the individual parts were great, but as a whole,
Why?
oh boy.
I don't understand why 101 Dalmatians is here.
I don't quite either.
Well, you see, because
I
there's a
understand
part.
why Pinocchio is here. I understand why Little Mermaid's
So
here. I understand why.
I think that 101 Dalmatians ended up in here because we didn't have space for it anywhere else, but we still wanted 101 Dalmatians.
Oh yeah, I think the bigger thing was that we originally were looking at 101 Dalmatians for the castle courtyard.
Yeah,
so
we're gonna have
French themed. It was getting.
Well,
it would have felt out of place.
There was a time where I didn't want the courtyard because it was French. There was a time where we were gonna do like an English area just off of the courtyard that was gonna be Portobello Road with bed knobs and broomsticks and 101 Dalmatians or Mr. Toad. We were still deciding. I wish we did too, but the discussion kind of fell off, and it kind of we just ended up doing it at all, and then we ended up with Fantasy Harbor, and 101 Dalmatians didn't fit in the Parisian village because obviously, and it didn't really fit in Storybook for Gardens. I think it could have. I think we could have made it work.
You could have shoehorned it into France too. You could have just been like, yes, Cruella is now working in France in the fashion industry. Well, and I mean, now there's dogs here too.
Well, I mean, theoretically, we could have put it in the garden if we made the facade look like the farmhouse they stay in the movie. Yeah. But I mean, I think Fantasy Harbor's a fine choice for it. I think the ride's great.
Oh yeah.
Just the
sum of its parts or the parts individually are better than the sum of its parts. Especially when Portobello Road was on the table.
Yeah.
All right, and so we've got the first of the attractions for this area here with Pinocchio's Bold Voyage.
Yeah, and this was also Theme Park Priest, and it was based off of that old concept that I think the artwork for it's on here, the model. I think towards the bottom. Yeah, it's a really good like classic style dark ride. Yeah. It's a really good classic style dark ride. That's also like a water ride. That's a good hybrid.
Still jealous.
Yeah.
Take a drink. This was Monty.
Yep, Journey of the Little Mermaid. This was this was a major contribution by Monty, and really interesting with the ride setup that he did with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the galleon. Yeah, the galleon boats seems cool.
Oh yeah, it's really more so the fact that it's the whole idea of doing like a boat ride that you can also do like suspended portions with to have the feeling of like swimming under the waves for like the under-the-sea portions.
So like Disney Seas Peter Pan ride.
Oh, are they doing that for Disney Seas Peter Pan?
Apparently.
Ooh.
I'm glad Grimsby got a scene here.
That's my favorite Sacha Baron Cohen movie. He finally got his due.
Oh God. I was working at the theater when that movie came out.
Really?
I forgot about it until this very moment. You just brought back so many nightmare memories from the Sacha Baron Cohen fans who would come out just quoting Borat. They'd never quote the movie itself. They'd just come out quoting Borat at 11:30 at night in the morning. Yeah,
I just love that idea. They come in at Grimsby. They're like, "My name is Borat." They're all laughing like, "Yeah, wasn't that funny?"
Wasn't it funny? The point where he went to America, like in that.
They come at him, Grimsby, and like, "My wife."
Movie theaters suck. Never work at one.
They come up to the ticket booth and they're like, "Yeah, I would like one ticket for Borat." Not, and then they walk away.
Give me one ticket for Borat adjacent, please.
Okay. Anyway, we got a ride. Ursula's setting off some smoke.
As she is wont to do.
Ariel's getting busy with her new legs. It's a ride.
Yep.
Yeah, nice work overall, Monty.
Yeah, it's really good.
I think my favorite part of this is that it's a ride.
You're right. It's a very, very good critique.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
This is also a ride.
Ooh, Honeybee finished their glass.
Oh, we're gonna get that Garfield ride now.
If they get through a second glass, they're gonna add a restaurant and gift shop.
I want the restaurant to just be lasagna.
Have it be like a full 3-page menu, but all the items are just the same lasagna.
Yeah, you can't have lasagna variations.
It's just the same lasagna.
It's like a Cheesecake Factory style menu, but every page is just lasagna.
Yeah, exactly. Same description, everything, same price.
Just different angled pictures.
Garfield's where every day is Monday. Anyway, we have the Daring Dalmatian chase.
As designed by a theme park priest. Very much going for the vein of Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Yeah, and I'm really, really glad that we ended up going with this. This is another thing where between this and Mr. Toad, obviously. I was really pushing for 101 Dalmatians because I thought it'd be real. I was surprised, but I watched the movie for the first time in a very, very long time, a few weeks ago, and I was really surprised by how good it was. So I'm glad that and how like zany it was. So I'm really glad that we ended up doing this.
One of my first things I ever did on this board was in a competition that Nate ran for a summer.
Ooh.
And I turned Mr. Toad into a 101 Dalmatian ride.
Oh, so cool.
The style just fits.
It really does. I think the movie is fast-paced enough. It was like kind of elevated enough.
It's like just a big chase sequence.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
And Cruella.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not Cruella because that movie doesn't look good.
I think it looks okay.
It looks good as a movie. I hate it on principle.
That's fair.
You can't make a puppy killer sympathetic.
It really all depends on how they handle Cruella's development as a character.
Yeah. Yeah.
It looks like
I still think they should make her sympathetic by having the dogs kill her family.
Yeah, when I first heard that Emma Thompson was joining the cast for it, what I initially envisioned the film could have been was Emma Thompson as older Cruella writing her memoirs and giving like this sympathetic spin in like the film's narration. But you watch Cruella DeVille actually just be a terrible person.
I mean, I think that's too close to the Glenn Close movie, though. We're talking about animals, by the way, so Honeybee, it's your move.
Yeah.
We're discussing, considering the ride we're discussing right now, you better finish your glass by the time you're done.
Chug it.
I mean,
you're right. You're right.
Not incorrect.
I'll die on my hill alone. I'm fine.
That's fair.
If you guys want to, sympathize with a puppy killing Emma, whatever her name is, whichever Emma it is in Hollywood.
It's Emma Stone.
Yeah, it's one of them.
It's one of them.
If that's what you guys are into, you do you. I'm gonna stay firmly on the side of not murdering puppies.
But it's for a really cute dress. You don't understand.
You're right. I don't.
No, it's not for a cute dress.
Sorry, it's for a coat. Yeah, it's for a really cute coat.
Maybe I got to get into the fashion industry a little bit more.
You should. You got to kill a few puppies and then start making clothes. That's the only way in at this point, in this modern fashion market.
Got to make a big scene.
You got to make a big splash by publicly killing puppies.
All right. So, Sorcerer Spin. This is something else that I worked on. And, it's spinning teacups themed around Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Mm.
And Mickey's a mouse, so take a drink.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean pretty simple setup here.
Yeah.
There's not much to talk about here.
Yeah, we have the caucus race. This is mine.
Yeah.
It's a flat ride.
Yeah, this whole movie is so trippy to me. Like, I don't like Alice in Wonderland as a movie because I just can't. It gives me anxiety.
It's really fast.
The way it moves, it's like, I feel like it should be a roller coaster more than a just the way it moves.
It's a musical.
But I like the parts individually.
Mm.
And this was one of the parts that I really remember for whatever reason.
Mm.
But Alice in Wonderland, it's a good movie. It's definitely something that it's a classic for a reason, and I love the characters. I just can't sit through Alice in Wonderland.
It's fair.
And also, I'll definitely say kudos to us for actually getting some Wonderland rep that's not just the teacups.
Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to do with Wonderland. Because we were talking about doing a trackless Alice in Wonderland dark ride that kind of fell by the wayside. So there's supposed to be a proper Alice in Wonderland area here. But what we ended up with was still really good, and I really enjoyed it.
Every take I have is a bad take, B-Roll. That's my thing. I'm the bad take guy. Dash is the straight man. I'm the bad take guy. I don't know what Alex and Joker's parts are yet, but we'll figure it out.
Well, we are.
Now, what's not a bad take, however, is the Walrus and the Carpenters.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun making this. And it came out really well.
Yeah.
I quite enjoyed it. I tried making it kind of fucked up with the tidal pools right outside the restaurant, with the little footprints leading into the restaurant.
You should have just had actual oysters in it.
Well, I have the oysters inside the restaurant.
Well, no, they should have been in the you should have
in the tidal pool.
Right.
No,
and then just have cast members go out with buckets and just harvest them.
Oh, I had like the mother oyster inside the title pool. Nothing real.
Yeah, I mean, I think murder is an important part of a Disney park.
I agree. When I want them to watch, and that was kind of the vibe I was going for, and
Right.
I think it worked out.
And then we've got Scuttles, Gadgets, and Gizmos.
This was Monty.
It's a shop.
Yeah, it's real good.
Shop.
It's a
It's fun.
It's got an AA Scuttle.
I like AA Scuttle, so.
Wonderland was
Funko
Sharon Susan. Wonderland was kind of cut because we didn't want to have too many sublands. So that's kind of what
One of
happened.
Seasons of Fantasy situation.
Exactly. Like we ended up. I think we chose Storybook Gardens over Wonderland, and then we were gonna have like not like a subland, but like a thematic area, I guess, which is kind of already there between the Caucasus Raisin Wallers and the Carpenters. But it was gonna be like that sort of deal.
Now we made the decision pretty early on of like, in terms of sublands, we'll do 3 of them.
Yeah.
No more.
Because we had a bunch of ideas.
Yeah.
So I worked on Seasons of Fantasy, but every time I hear it, I think, is that Rent song? And then I realize, no.
525,600 sublands.
Or acres. Acres were.
How do you measure a park?
Yeah, stay tuned for the 1986 version of Rent.
Yeah.
Instead of everyone having AIDS, everyone's going to have back pain from walking the size of the park. It has way less commentary about, marginalized people and way more inside jokes about Yogi Bear and dog and horse rides.
It'll start off with us all tired of like the forum competitions, so we're gonna start off singing "We're not gonna play, we're not gonna play."
Yeah, we all refuse to take part in So You Want to Be an Imagineer, so we go back to the 1986 first. All right, good night, priest. This is the part of the night where we all say,
"Good night, priest."
Good night, priest.
Good night, priest.
Priest gets a special goodbye, but nobody else does.
Nope, no one else does.
Nobody else
No,
deserves
because
it.
he's our father.
Right. You guys are all slacking on your duties.
Yeah.
Now, someone who's not slacking was this stanza's winner, Team Holland.
Whoa, another out of the park, perfectly set up, purposely planned segue.
Yeah, I'm really glad we're running these transitions now.
Yeah.
It's working out pretty well.
We could never do this on the So You Want to Be an Imagineer channel.
Yeah.
No.
And so whereas we had done one subland based around water, they just went all in on that.
They did 3. They said, "What if we flood the back of the park?"
I mean, it's Brazil. It's pretty much rainbow. They're planning ahead.
They didn't change any of the rides. They just flooded the Fantasyland.
Now that's a park I want to go to.
So the first of their sublands is again the castle courtyard, but now there's a slash with fairy tale docks.
Yeah.
I like this idea.
Yeah, it's a good way to do something a bit more with a castle courtyard area.
It's different. I have like a few issues, but I think generally it's successful.
Oh yeah. Also, why does Rapunzel have an Ulta?
She needs it.
I mean, she never got to experience the capitalist society that we all live in.
Yeah.
So when she escaped that tower, she really wanted to just take up that entrepreneurial spirit, and I really admire her for that.
You don't remember that scene where she went to the Castletown Sephora and she just put a bunch of makeup on? And Flynn Rider's like, wow, you look a lot better with that. You should wear even more every day. And she said, I know, right? This is my passion. And then they never mentioned it again, but she had more and more makeup with each successive scene.
She's an influencer.
Yeah, she's an influencer. she got a fake tan, and now she does Instagram photos.
As long as she's not blackfishing.
Remember the scene where she advertised the Fire Festival?
I do.
Really yeah, that was a really good scene.
I want to see that version of live action Tangled.
It's okay, honeybee. I'm an atheist too, and no one says goodnight to me.
Yeah, we're the ones who say goodnight instead.
Only Jesus when he tries to sneak into my heart.
But yeah, Pinocchio ride looks pretty good here, and storybook gondolas is a nice idea.
Yeah.
It's a good twist on the storybook land.
Yeah, and also Pink Elephants reference.
Pink elephants take a drink. And there's an
alligator
and a whale. And mermaids are part fish. And in Tangled, there's a horse and a chameleon. In Frozen, there are wolves and there's a reindeer. Pinocchio, there's a lot of fish. I can list them all off.
There's a fox man.
Yeah, they become donkeys. There's a fox man and a cat man.
Yeah.
They use horses. The coachman has horses for whatever reason, even though he creates donkeys. Jiminy is a cricket.
They're donkeys.
Are they donkeys?
No, I think that they are horses for his use, but then he sells the donkeys off.
Right, that's what I thought too. But I could be wrong. I haven't seen Pinocchio in a while.
No, he's like selling the transformed donkeys to like salt mines and circuses and stuff like that.
Right, circuses, the home of the donkey.
Honestly, at this point, honeybee, you're building a park.
Build the Garfield Resort.
The Garfield Resort.
I want to see a park, a hotel, and a shopping center, and it's all just Monday and lasagna.
Anyway, we got to move on. The caucus race. This is a unique idea.
Yeah, and the walrus and the carpenter is a diner.
Yeah, both very unique ideas.
Yeah, very unique. Never seen it before.
Absolutely, and yeah.
Now, this is actually a unique idea.
Honeybee, we're hydrating you. We're keeping you hydrated.
Yeah, download the water drinking app where you can count how much water you drank in one day.
Yeah.
My sister has an app like that. I don't know what it's called because I refuse to ask her, but she always talks about how she didn't get enough water. It's ridiculous. It's
we're 20% water.
Yeah. But yeah, this was fun. I really, really like The Princess Bride, and it's not just because of the rodents of unusual size. I actually enjoy this movie beyond just the animals.
I wouldn't have expected The Princess Bride, but I think it was a really cool idea.
Yeah, it's honestly, I've never seen a Princess Bride attraction, and now that I think about it, why haven't
we almost did it for the Fox Park?
That would have been so good. I mean,
I really wanted to do it, and we never ended up doing it.
Princess Bride's such a good movie.
Yeah, no, it's a great movie.
Oh yeah, fantastic movie.
One of the best movies ever made.
The praise just went up. I said it's good, then we got great, then fantastic, then one of the best ever made.
I think this is Rob Reiner's best movie. It's probably like the best piece of media ever made. Like really.
I think humanity peaked at The Princess Bride and should just have stopped after.
When Andre the Giant said, "Does anybody want a peanut?" Like, oh my, that's when we peaked. It was all downhill from there.
That is comedy gold.
Yeah, there was no coming back up because no one would be able to match that.
Yeah. Also, nice little menu for that restaurant as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, the Sicilian Gamble.
Yes. Yeah, such a good idea there.
Although not enough murder. There should have been one that's actually poisoned.
Yeah, that's very fair. I agree with that.
But then both are actually poisoned, and you just have to build up a tolerance before coming to the park. Otherwise, you both die.
Cast members scrambling out. They're like, "We're so sorry. Both were poisoned."
How many
Anyway.
Wallace Shawn? How many really bad Wallace Shawn impressions do you think would happen in that moment?
Too many.
So many.
The cast members were. The cast members are the ones poisoning it. It's not actually real. It's just. It's not supposed to be poisoned. The cast members are putting poison in it to stop the Wallace Shawns.
Sorcerer's Apprentice, another unique idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally unique. Totally unique.
Yeah.
We have the Seaside Caverns.
Yep, the second of the sublands, with this one getting
This is a
even deeper
really
into the
cool
ocean.
area.
Mm.
This is a really cool area.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Oh, definitely.
It's all done very well.
A Little Mermaid dark ride, that is unheard of.
Yeah, there's a lot of. I'm surprised that there were so many Little Mermaid dark rides this round. There's only so much.
Not a dark ride. It's a coaster.
Oh yes, it is. I forgot
that's
about
true.
that.
That's
Yeah,
true.
you're right.
I mean, what's a coaster if not a fast dark ride?
Yeah, just a fast dark ride, really.
Fair.
Yeah, especially considering like they specifically mentioned the ride system for Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, which from what I've seen essentially seems to be like, what if we took the Omnimover ability to like move your vehicle to focus on a scene and just slap that on a coaster?
Yeah. Yeah, this was fun. I agree with the critiques that a coaster is kind of a weird choice,
It is, but
especially for Little Mermaid. But I like the idea. I appreciate the idea.
because when I think Little Mermaid, I definitely think roller coaster.
Yes. Yeah.
There's no better system for it.
No, I agree.
And then we got a little Ariel's Whirligigs as like the related store.
Mm.
Yeah.
Honestly, the Nemo ride's kind of a weird idea too, but it works well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nemo's a very bizarre choice for a fantasy lane, but it fits.
Yeah.
Nemo always gets the weird love in the Disney parks. Like, there is plenty of Nemo at the Disney parks, but it's always in such weird ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a musical.
Oh yeah, the musical that's located in Dinerland, USA.
Or, you know, the dark ride that's like kind of just half-assed thrown together.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Man,
we weren't criticizing you for choosing Little Mermaid coaster. We just pointed out it was an interesting choice. I do think it was a unique choice.
Yeah.
So it's not a criticism or just an observation from four idiots on a podcast.
Mm.
Yeah, it may seem odd to us, but you at least really took a shot at trying to do something different with it.
Oh yeah, which is absolutely appreciated. Yeah, I heard that the Nemo ride was very last minute, but I'm glad that you guys were able to get it finished.
Yeah. And then Time's Palace, which I think is cool.
Yeah. It's interesting. I don't really know if it's Fantasyland, but it's interesting.
But it's
I was not expecting a Fantasia 2000 reference to crop up in this form. Because, a lot of the time, if somebody designs like a Fantasyland related thing, it's generally like the original Fantasia film. You don't see a whole lot of like Fantasia 2000 stuff.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, it has such classics as the Graduation Song, but for Noah's Ark. The Yo-Yo Flamingo.
It's called "Hey, Don't You Dare Knock Saint Saëns." How dare you?
Yeah, are you seriously the one that's like taking a jab at the Carnival of Animals?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It also has Rhapsody in Blue, which is probably the best part of that movie.
Oh, I love Fantasia 2000.
Pints of
it's one of my
Rome.
favorite
Pints of
Disney
Rome
films.
is up there.
I haven't seen it in so long. I need to watch it again.
I mean, I love both Fantasias, but it's a good time. I really do appreciate that restaurant.
Mm.
Moana, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely does.
You got a water
It's done
themed
really well.
Fantasyland, Moana.
Yeah. This is also another weird choice for Fantasyland, but I think it's done well.
Yeah, this feels
It's done really well.
I've always thought Adventureland for Moana.
Same.
Yeah, Moana would be a good IP fit for Adventureland, but this is still a really well executed take on a Moana attraction.
Oh, absolutely.
It is fucking scary.
Yeah.
Somebody in a room with a whale?
We were coming to you live from the Indy 500.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. It happens.
Traffic around my area.
No, it's all good. It's funny. There's nothing you can do about it.
Go out there and yell at him. Come on, Dad.
Yeah, stop driving.
We're running a podcast here for 3 people.
It's 11:30 at night. How dare you? But yeah, Moana's done really well. I really appreciate the idea. I think it's executed well.
Oh, and apparently it's the same ride layout as Magic Kingdom Snow White.
Yeah, Pi said that.
Which I don't know what you're talking about because we don't have a Snow White.
That's very true.
There's
no such thing.
They took it away from us.
That looks nothing like the roller coaster.
No.
Yeah. Shark face.
They stole it from us and they put in a princess meet and greet where you can't even meet all the princesses.
Yeah.
One of them is friggin' Disney Junior princess no one's even heard of.
Who, Sophia the First?
No.
Oh, I forgot about her.
Yeah, even less relevant.
Elena of Avalor, I think is her name.
To be honest, not a bad show.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen. I mean, I don't really have any interest in seeing it. I'll keep that in mind.
Personally, but
yeah, I don't have much of a major draw to checking out like the Disney Junior shows. The only one that I've really actually checked out like at all was pretty much just like that new Rocketeer show. Kind of out of the curiosity of, wait, a Disney Junior Rocketeer show?
It seems super weird. I've heard okay things about 7D as well, and that's done by the people who did Animaniacs.
Are there Nazis in the Disney Junior?
The main villain is Hitler. He comes out every week.
No, instead, this is centered around the granddaughter of Cliff Seckard.
Oh, so they're fighting the communists.
No, she just deals with kind of very sort of simple, like criminals or folks who want to get the jetpack, like a stage magician who wants to get the jetpack so he can really fly.
So he can bring back supremacy.
That's not even magic at that point. You can't trick somebody into being like, yes, I can fly, when you literally just have a jetpack.
No, he'll put it underneath his cloak. It'll be fine. So there's no Lena Brezhnev, like Big Bad.
I haven't seen much of the show, so I can't say. Main other thing that I really remember is the fact that Kit Seckard has a bulldog as a pet.
Oh God!
And they actually got Billy Campbell back to play her dad. So the guy who played Cliff Seckard in the movie.
Hmm.
Okay.
All right. So they got all that going for it. Just give me the Nazis in my kids' show. It's not that difficult.
The kids need to know that Nazis are bad.
Right. Start them off young.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I do think that the kids actually need to know that the Nazis are bad.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
No, that wasn't a joke, though. That was a very earnest statement.
Kids, Nazis are bad.
Moving on.
I know that's a bit of a hot take these days, but Nazis are bad.
I wish that could be a joke. We're not going to get political, but I wish that statement could be like, yes, you're joking, because it's not controversial at all. But
anyway, before we lose our Nazi audience, we have to...
Right.
Actually, speaking of despicable figures, we got a Villains Cove meet and greet.
Back up. If we have a Nazi audience, we can lose them. I do not.
If they're on our Patreon, they can say whatever they want as long as it's not offensive.
Right. Yeah. Pay for our Patreon. Buy Budweiser Zero, and you can stay.
You can stay.
But so Villains Cove meet and greet. Neat idea.
Sharon Susan, who's half a Nazi. Who is the person in our community that dabbles?
Call them out. We want names.
Name names.
You know, I've been to a gathering or two. I wouldn't know.
I'm not a Nazi, but I've dabbled.
Villains Cove. We got Villa meet and greets. We got them all.
All of them.
If there were a time to go on this tangent, it is on a villain meet and greet.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's no time to go on this tangent.
We have had this tangent. Let us get back on track.
Yeah. We got the Villains Cove meet and greet.
I think the worst part of this is we still have a whole nother... No, we don't have another project.
No, we don't. There's only two.
No.
Yeah, cool. All right. I was going to say, wait, what am I fucking talking about?
There's only 6 people here. I'm not half a Nazi.
There's 7 people here. There are 3 watching, 4 of us in the chat. And they say 1 in every 7 people's a Nazi, so... Or 1 in every 7 people's half a Nazi. And it's not me.
It's not me either.
Not me.
Are we playing Secret Hitler right now?
Anyway, Villains Cove is cool. And then we've got our final subland, Atlantis.
This was the weirdest one. This was the one I was the most conflicted on. It was good. It was interesting.
I like the idea.
So do I. Yeah.
Who made this? Because I feel like
that's a great question. Sharon and Susan, who made this?
Who made this?
Yeah, people, if that could be true.
The furry community is pretty rampant with that, from what I hear.
The Nazis did a lot of experiments too. Oh.
Right, on furries.
Yeah. You never know.
Did the Nazis make cat girls?
No, because we look at them in a positive light in today's society.
Speak for yourself.
Oh, I didn't say me specifically.
Okay.
I'm saying society. Have you been on Twitter? It's terrifying.
But it was interesting to see Atlantis turn up as a subland for this. Because, on the one hand, I definitely see the angle and approach that they went with for this, where I can see how it would go into a fantasy land. I'm kind of still on the boat that I personally think of Atlantis more as an Adventureland thing.
I agree, or a Tomorrowland sort of thing.
Yeah.
I always thought it'd be a neat, like a neat transition. There's the word. Between Tomorrowland and Fantasyland.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's Disney Dad. Okay.
The Nazi? Oh, who did the ride? that wasn't a joke.
I know.
That was my actual reaction. That was honest and earnest.
Please apologize to Disney Dad.
I am so sorry, Disney Dad.
Send him a PM with no context.
Right,
I'm sorry I called you a Nazi. Anyway, the ideas were interesting. I definitely agree that this wasn't quite Fantasyland enough, I guess. Would be appropriate to say.
Yeah, like I feel like Fantasyland needs like a certain level of that sort of heightened fantastical nature to it.
Like I still make the argument for 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, but I feel like Atlantis is a little bit too scientific in its design. Yeah.
And 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea isn't?
No, because the design's more fantastical. It's not really quite as science-based. I think the Victorian aspects of it elevates it a bit more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Where, I mean, Atlantis is a lot more industrial in design.
But so yeah, we've got sort of the main ride for this area. We've got a few shops with artisans of Atlantis and Vermeer's Antiques, and we've also got a Princess Kita meet and greet.
Yeah.
Why can't we meet?
No Milo.
Yeah, why can't we meet Milo?
You know.
Answer us.
It's fine.
Look, if we can get his badass girlfriend, I want her pet nerd.
God.
Also, why did Vinny not get a dynamite shop just where you can buy explosives?
You can buy real explosives?
Yeah.
At the very least, there should be a photo op of just like a TNT plunger somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or real TNT, and you can just blow up part of the park.
Yeah, that'd be cool too.
To join in on the new Disney theme park murder initiative.
Yeah, that's their new. Thing that they're doing this year.
So many characters die in Disney movies, so why not let the
Let's bring the fun to you.
Experience that.
Yeah.
Not a lot of falling though, unfortunately.
Yeah. Falling's scary. Explosions are quick.
Right.
And yeah, then we've got our trash cans and recycling cans and a Budweiser Zero ad.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. The Budweiser Zero running gag is getting a bit old.
I disagree.
I also disagree.
Because it's removed enough. It's not like
Right.
It's not like it's in everything. They're like, look at Budweiser Zero.
Yeah,
it's always like a little like end tag.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and I mean the game's nearly done, so you're not going to see it for too much longer, I'd imagine.
Yeah, just wait.
Oh yeah.
Just like
just
Yogi
wait for my final project. Where it's Budweiser Zero World.
If one of you made a Budweiser Zero ticket.
It'll be like Duffland, but for Budweiser Zero.
Can you do it in Dubai to give them an actual?
There's no alcohol, so yes.
Right.
Oh, and that brings us to the end of this
We did it.
very insane.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But no, I'm happy with our end
Some
product.
people are called Nazis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you haven't accused one of your own of being a Nazi at least once, have you really been part of a community? Especially if they're not there to defend themselves.
I'm happy with how our project came out. Obviously there were a few issues, but overall I'm happy with it.
Yeah, I think both projects were really unique. Had some really great parts, some not great parts, but some parts that were okay. And I was overall pretty impressed with both teams on this one.
Yeah, absolutely. You spelled molasses wrong.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
Wrong, number one, and two, we know.
We saw it too. We wrote it into the script.
The way you just spelled that, I'm gonna get that.
Disturbing.
I'm gonna get that on my tombstone.
Pergron drowned in molasses. I walked into this project with the intentions of doing something that I would be proud of in case I got eliminated.
Right, and then you failed, so you didn't get eliminated.
You're right, I didn't. So at least I had no regrets in this last project.
Right,
which is very rare.
I was just generally excited to work on a Fantasyland prompt because of that whole challenge that we discussed earlier of, getting to work with all these different Disney IPs, but how do you decide which ones to go with and how to bring them together? And I feel like we did a really good job bringing these together with some familiar choices and some stuff that's a bit more obscure or lesser used.
Yeah. Beowulf, you're still wrong, but it's okay.
You get a third try, and then you're definitely not going to be invited to the team.
Yeah. One more try, and then you're blocked.
And you can't look it up.
No, this project was a lot of fun.
Wait,
the challenge was
there's
very
an actual timeout. There's a timeout button on here.
Is it really? What?
There is.
Don't do that.
We've got one stanza left with the
Beowulf, you
Sorcerer's
won. You got us off script. We were supposed to be talking about that eggplant parmesan before Sharon and Susan came in with their comment.
Damn it.
And now it's just totally out of context. So congrats, you did it.
Yeah.
You got us off script. But yeah, the last project, we're all alone. And we're building our own e-tickets.
I can't wait to go through every single one of them in the More Pooh Talk excruciating detail that we're known for.
We're going to have to do 2 shows. It's going to be 9 projects.
I think what we should do is just give a number, not a rating, just number them. And
completely arbitrary number.
Right. Just yes, this one is a 7.
Yeah.
And not even go over it.
No apparent ranking system.
Right.
Just random numbers.
Sometimes they don't even get numbers. Sometimes it's just a thing. It's this one here is a frog poster.
2 plums out of 20. That's what I give that.
I give this one rubber duck wearing a hope diamond.
0.5 Nazis. Yes, you did it! Beowulf, you did it!
You did it!
Hooray!
You're not going to get blocked.
You won the More Pooh Talk spelling bee! You're not going to get blocked! We did it!
Everyone except Beowulf blocked.
Yeah. But yeah, we're all working on our own projects, and as a special treat, Dash Haber is going to lay out his project for us right now.
Right here.
I'm not letting this cat out of the bag yet. I want to be a surprise.
No,
say you're not going to let this
something
crab
involving
out
a cat.
No.
Is it involving a bag?
No.
I straight up thought he just said, I'm not letting the crab out of the bag. Is it involving a crab? Are you
It's a
doing a
region-
Little
it's a-
Mermaid dark ride?
It's a regional idiom. That's what.
It's used in Utica.
Dash, are you from Maryland? Are you all about crabs?
No, there's no crab involvement here.
No crab. That's unfortunate. I really wanted to
No
see
crab.
Disneyland Maryland, where it's all just crab themed rides.
Yeah.
No crabs. Like, good for you, Dash.
No crabs. Well, that narrows it down quite a bit.
Dash is crab free.
Congratulations.
And on that note,
That one.
good night, everybody.
And on
Good
that
night, everybody.